Anyway, we are at an inflection point, I believe, in the world economy. Not just the world economy, in the world. It occurs every 3 or 4 generations. One of the top military people said to me in a secure meeting the other day, 60 million people died between 1900 and 1946. And since then, we established a liberal world order, and that hadn't happened in a long while. A lot of people dying, but nowhere near the chaos. And now is the time when things are shifting. There's gonna be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it, and we've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it. So anyway, we are at an inflection point.
All right. So I want to start off first by giving all praises and glories unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Harakak double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Greetings, salutations, blessings, and much love unto you, hopeful elect out there. Shalom unto you. I'm your brother Shaquat from the Las Vegas Church. And just gonna pull in some of these clips and small sayings, if you will, that's just kind of out there, and you may run across in the news, but not know how to pull it all together and the meaning, okay, and filter it through the Bible. Well, this is simple because all this is leading to the new world order, as the president so eloquently put it, as well as the Great Reset, as we've heard of before, as well as the spiritually in the Book of Revelation, speaking about the dawn of the image of the beast. Okay, we're coming into that time. All right, this is what we're watching happen. All right, so I'm actually gonna go into this video here, and I'm gonna just play the whole thing, and come back with precepts and other articles. Not that one. Matter of fact, it's not right here, but that's a good one. So hold on to that. Bear with me one moment. All right, here we have Yuval Noah Harari on the future of humanity. This is by Science Time, okay? And he says a mouthful.
We live in a world of never-ending change. As we progress and introduce new technologies and innovations, the way we interact with society and even the planet around us will change. Dr. Yuval Noah Harari, macro historian, professor, and best-selling author of Sapiens, as well as one of the world's most innovative and exciting thinkers, has a few hypotheses of his own on the future of humanity. He examines what might happen to the world when old myths are coupled with new godlike technologies, such as artificial intelligence and genetic engineering.
We are probably one of the last generations of Homo sapiens. Within a century or two, Earth will be dominated by entities that are more different from us than we are different from Neanderthals or from chimpanzees. Because in the coming generations, we will learn how to engineer bodies and brains and minds. Now, how exactly will the future masters of the planet look like? This will be decided by the people who own the data. Those who control the data control the future not just of humanity, but the future of life itself. Because today, data is the most important asset in the world. In ancient times, land was the most important asset. And if too much land became concentrated in too few hands, humanity split into aristocrats and commoners. Then in the modern age, in the last 2 centuries, machinery replaced land as the most important asset. And if too many of the machines became concentrated in too few hands, humanity split into classes, into capitalists and proletariats. Now data is replacing machinery as the most important asset. And if too much of the data becomes concentrated in too few hands, humanity will split not into classes, it will split into different species.
As technology advances faster than our understanding of it, it will also allow us to upgrade our brains and nervous systems. Connecting our brains directly to the internet also means that hackers will have direct access into our minds. They can steal information from us and modify our beliefs and opinions.
We have reached the point when we can hack not just computers, we can hack human beings and other organisms. There is a lot of talk these days about hacking computers and email accounts and bank accounts and mobile phones, but actually we are gaining the ability to hack human beings. Now, what do you need in order to hack a human being? You need two things. You need a lot of computing power, and you need a lot of data, especially biometric data. Not data about what I buy or where I go, but data about what is happening inside my body and inside my brain. Until today, nobody had the necessary computing power and the necessary data to hack humanity. But this is now changing because of two simultaneous revolutions. On the one hand, advances in computer science, and especially the rise of machine learning and AI, are giving us the necessary computing power. And at the same time, advances in biology, and especially in brain science, are giving us the necessary understanding, biological understanding.
By advertising on YouTube,
Biological understanding.
Harari suggests the possibility that humans are algorithms, and as such, Homo sapiens may not be dominant in a universe where robots and AI will most likely replace us in our jobs once they become intelligent enough. Although he is hopeful that AI might help us solve many problems, such as healthcare, climate change, poverty, overpopulation, and terrorism, we can no longer be certain about anything, including things that previously seemed fixed and eternal.
Now, as a quick pause here, thus far, what are we watching? We're watching the image of the beast. Okay, and I'll get into that. All right, they're talking about hacking your thoughts, hacking the algorithm of how you live your life, the routines that of the box. Because if we didn't have TV programming and clocks, like a one that sits on the nightstand or whatever, versus just the sun, and the moon to go by as far as the timing of our day and what we did within our day, and job to clock into, and so on and so forth, our day wouldn't be able to be organized into an algorithm. Some days you would pick berries, some days you would hunt for meat, some days you would gather vegetables or plant or whatever the situation is. But now they've classified us into a box, categorized us, if you will, for those that know what that means. Okay, what I'm leaning into with that device, they've categorized us into where they can figure out. Now it's easier for them to know what we're thinking by the categories. They go right to your internet searches and watch you, see what you're into. That's why these cookies and this cache has a lot to do with what's going on, and them picking up the data from you. Okay, that's why they're saying it's an algorithm now, because they simplified you into that. They know you're gonna turn on the TV or turn on the internet and tune into a certain website or webcast at around certain times of the day. Certain age kids, once they get out of school, they're gonna go click on certain things on the internet or the TV. It's predictive programming, but it's also programming you toward what the boxes. If you only can fit into a few different shapes or boxes, then they know which shape you would lend towards. Okay, that you would gravitate towards, thus defining the type of person you are. All right, this is what they put you in a box with, so to speak. You see how this is happening? And in that box, it gets even more of a trap. So I'm going to let him finish speaking on it, and I'll come back.
You can really summarize 150 years of biological research since Charles Darwin in 3 words. Organisms are algorithms. This is the big insight of the modern life sciences, that organisms, whether viruses or bananas or humans, they are really just biochemical algorithms. And we are learning how to decipher these algorithms. Now, when the 2 revolutions merge, when the infotech revolution merges with the biotech revolution, what you get?
He said infotech revolution with the biotech revolution. What's the tech? What's the common denominator? The technology. Because this new world order will be controlled by technology, policed by technology. That's the image that the beast is setting up. Okay, continuing.
Is the ability to hack human beings. And maybe the most important invention for the merger of infotech and biotech is the biometric sensor that translates biochemical processes in the body and the brain into electronic signals that a computer can store and analyze. And once you have enough such biometric information and enough computing power, you can create algorithms that know me better than I know myself. And humans really don't know themselves very well. This is why algorithms have a real chance of getting to know ourselves better. We don't really know ourselves. The algorithm tracks your eye movements, your blood pressure, your brain activity, and tells you who you are.
I've been selling my...
So I'll go back a little bit, but yeah, hope you heard that. Okay, I'll play it again. So you don't really know yourself. We take data from where your eyes move, from, well, I'll let him say it.
Better than I know myself. And humans really don't know themselves very well. This is why algorithms have a real chance of getting to know ourselves better. We don't really know ourselves. The algorithm tracks your eye movements, your blood pressure, your brain activity, and tells you who you are.
It tells you who you are. Now, that's funny because inside this technology and biotech, okay, and data tech, right, is where they'll implant the chip that they were talking about, that sensor, as he called it, which is the RFID microchip technology, okay? Things that can be accessed through the Internet of Things or 5G or whatever, and connected to a server somewhere to connect the data and categorize it to put you back into a box. And if you're somewhere that you shouldn't be, it'll restrict you access or let someone know that you're not where you should be at. Okay, these things are coming for complete control. And when I play the next video, you'll really see, I mean, there's so much of this that's going on in today's time that people don't even realize how much of it is right in their face. Okay, and how much control that that people are truly giving up of their freedoms. Okay, to be in this technocracy, if you will. All right, continuing.
I have algorithms that can understand me better than I understand myself. They could predict my desires, manipulate my emotions, and even take decisions on my behalf. And if
can't let that slide. Detect my desires, and I think he even said predict his desires. Okay, and I mean, this is a heavy video.
Once we have algorithms that can understand me better than I understand myself, they could predict my desires, manipulate my emotions, and
make you feel a way that you don't want to feel. Okay? And how do you know they do this? They use this in movies. If you watch these rom-coms, these romance comedies, or just certain movies or whatever, or even these sitcoms, they'll have a laugh track behind it. That's what they used to do to tell you when to laugh. In these romance comedies, they'll start playing the violin, piano music in the background for the heartfelt moment, the drama in it. Okay? It's an underlying something that you don't even realize is happening, but it's in your subconscious that is there, but it's physically actually there. Okay? And that's just a few small tactics on how it works. How do you think Jake has been emotionally and psychologically had warfare taken on him? Because you listen to Jake's music, and what does it push? I'm a shooter, I'm the blah, 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 you know, whatever, man. Popping drugs and all of this stuff. These mantras go over and over in your head repetitively until you start to chant it. And now it becomes a part of, you speak it into existence within your own self. Okay, this is the age where they are now controlling you. What did they need to get us into this stage? They needed the opium. Okay, they needed the control of the witchcraft of pharmaceuticals, as well as the witchcraft of the media, whether the scare tactics of the news or the predictive programming of the television shows. Okay, commercials, so on and so forth. Okay, we're watching this new world order unfold right before our eyes, you know, which will be ruled in a technocracy that'll be controlled with the mark of the beast. Pure point blank. Okay? And if you don't, the scriptures say, if you don't go along with it, you know, we know what happens. Lord willing, I'll get to that, but I'm trying to get through this video. But there's so much packed into this when you overlook, when you see the whole big picture, okay, of what he's actually talking about. He's using specific reference terms for spiritual implications of the control this devil wanted. And the Most High had it penned in the book of Revelations and throughout the Bible. All right, so continuing.
Even take decisions on my behalf.
Even make decisions on my behalf.
And if we are not careful, the outcome might be the rise of digital dictatorships. In the 20th century, democracy generally outperformed dictatorship because democracy was better at processing data and making decisions. Democracy processes information in a distributed way. It distributes the information and the power to make decisions between many institutions and individuals. Dictatorship, on the other hand, concentrates all the information and power in one place.
Now hold on. Let's understand that Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, is that dictator, so to speak. They just put an evil twist upon the word. Okay? He's the dictator that all good should come from. All good and evil. All life should come from. Okay, but you see how they've now spread this out and gave many different views. There's only one way of righteousness under the Heavenly Father. And when he puts the Israelites back in power under his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, that's when you'll see who Yahweh Shai is actually who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. That's when you'll see the righteousness of having a righteous dictator. The problem is we've had wicked dictators since Edomites have ruled the planet. And people have been corrupted, okay, with that wicked mind state. But we're being set back in a time now, leading into the kingdom of heaven, that righteousness will reign upon the earth, okay, through all of this madness that they're doing. And all this will be thrown down. All right, back into the video.
Now, given the technological conditions of the 20th century, distributed data processing worked better than centralized data processing, which is one of the main reasons why democracy outperformed dictatorship. Only under the unique technological conditions of the 20th century. In the 21st century, new technological revolutions, especially AI and machine learning, might swing the pendulum in the opposite direction. They might make centralized data processing far more efficient than distributed data processing. And if democracy cannot adapt to these new conditions, then humans will come to live under the rule of digital dictatorships. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it.
Professor Harari looks to the future and explores how global power might shift as the principal force of evolution, natural selection, is replaced by intelligent design. After 4 billion years of organic life, the era of inorganic life is now beginning.
In the coming decades, AI and biotechnology will give us godlike abilities to re-engineer life and even to create completely new life forms. After 4 billion years of organic life shaped by natural selection, we are about to enter a new era of inorganic life shaped by intelligent.
By the way, 4 billion years on Earth is bull.
Design. Our intelligent design is going to be the new driving force of the evolution of life.
How come when they bring up these carbon dating timelines and these different timelines of evolution and whatever else they throw at you, they don't really know. They don't know. They're just throwing numbers at you. Why is that number never the same? We've been on 68 billion years on Earth ago. There were dinosaurs. They don't know. They really don't know. They're just throwing things out there and people believe it. They really have no clue how long this how old this planet is or how long life on planet Earth has been. Okay? It's been a few thousand years, man. You know, like double-digit 1,000 years. Okay? Thus saith the Bible when you understand it. But that's another lesson for another day. You know, but if you were just to listen to someone like this, you would believe, oh, he's a doctor, he knows exactly what he's talking about. He has no clue what he's talking about. They're simply pushing a new world order agenda through this man and through the technology that he's presenting, and that a lot of you are just gonna go along with because you don't understand the implications of what's happening. Okay, the control that they'll have over you. And some of you need to be controlled that way. Well, when Yahweh sends Yahweh Shai down here, that's the control that'll be necessary. Okay, to rule over you people, because you people are self-destructive here on earth. If you don't have a righteous God to lead you, you'll destroy everything in yourselves. All right, I'm trying to wrap this up.
There are many ways in which the future of humanity might play out in the coming decades. We already see the impact of infotech and biotech in the present day, but as we wait for them to grow and expand, it's only natural to wonder what will happen in the next few decades. We can expect to see some really interesting developments as all these fields of science and technology will continue to rapidly advance. One thing is for sure, humanity has some pretty big decisions to make.
And as in the next video, if I can grab it, I gotta see where it's at. The speaker literally said that I gotta find it, but the speaker literally said, I'm not sure if he said it also, but it'll be in the hands of the elite. You know, whoever owns the data. That's the new real estate. He said it in this one, but let me see if I can find the other video. But first, I'm gonna grab a couple precepts, or just Revelation. Hold on. All right, this is Revelation chapter 13, verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Okay, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him. All right, the beast before him was the Roman Empire, and this is the rebirth of the Roman Empire. With the 2 horns like a lamb, meaning a 2-party system, on the same body though, and spake as a dragon with these draconian measures, man. Okay? How do you know? Because if you don't assimilate to the technological and digital world, you will be punished in so many ways, or exorcised out the system. Okay, it says, and causeth the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And that deadly wound, when they were taken down, okay, and ruled by the Byzantine Empire for 1,000 years in the Middle Ages, and then the Renaissance came. That beast was reborn. Okay, these are the beasts. The fourth beast, particularly from the book of Daniel. Okay, it says, "And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men." And he did that in Japan in World War II when he presented that atom bomb and the hydrogen bomb and now the nuclear bomb. Okay, it says, and so that punked the whole world, so to speak. Verse 14, "And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by those means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast." And part of the technology is what the guy described, Harari described. Okay, being able to predict your thoughts, being able to predict your impulses and categorize your impulses and your thoughts. Okay, which we talk about the thought police, man, from the movie Minority Report, pre-crime. Okay, to see where your mind is going, if it's obedient to the will of the beast, to fit into his image, or if it's on his own wavelength and rogue, and they need to bring it in. And you can see pieces of this in the Matrix. Okay, some programs were exiled and ran off doing their own thing, but that was also their purpose. Anyway, I digress. It says, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast. That image to the beast is this new technological way of life, okay, which had the wound by a sword and did live, which is the new Roman Empire, the digital Roman Empire. All right, so verse 15 says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast through his technology. Okay, that's how he gave life unto the power. Power to give life unto the image of the beast through his technology and grasping all of this data and programming. Okay, and getting you to tap into it with social media, Facebook, Meta, whatever, and all these different things. Even these video games. Okay, tap right into your mind. When they present a situation, what does your mind do with your hands on these video game controllers? Okay, in that moment. Okay, EA Sports, get in the game. They put your mind into the game that they were taking data. Okay, this is all part of what they're doing to figure out control with you. Okay, it said that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So if you don't put your mind into this thing, if you don't wholly worship this new way of life through technology, with the implants, with the with AI and technology ruling over you, then you'll be killed. Because it's a system of control. So if you don't tap into that system of control, you're not bowing down to the beast, and they will just wipe you out. Continuing on, 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. That sensor or that implant, okay? That's why it's biotech. That's what's going to have all your thoughts, all your heart palpitations, and whatever else is going on within your body. We've seen that viable in some of the technology coming out since this the jabber jump shot, the jab step jump shot is going on. Okay, we've seen the different things happening, and we've seen how they're talking about monitoring that. Okay, it says and that no man might buy or sell. I mean, you can't be in the system to buy or sell. You can't work. You can't sell nothing. You can't purchase anything. That's food, shelter, any of that. Okay? Save he that had the mark, unless you're into the system. Cash will be done away. Economic collapses and hyperinflation of the U.S. dollar and the world currency as far as gold-backed money is gone. Okay, the next video will break into all of that. Save ye at the mark, or the number or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Okay, and then the next verse is going into the barcode technology. Okay, which they have that that new one, I forgot what it's called, where you just hold your phone over it with the camera on and it scans it. A QR code. It says, here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Okay, so let me go into this video with this woman. Wow, here we go.
It's about what underpins a world order is always the financial system. I was very privileged. My father was an advisor to Nixon when they came off the gold standard in '71. And so I was brought up with a kind of inside view of how very important the financial structure is to absolutely everything else. And what we're seeing in the world today, I think, is we're on the brink of a dramatic change where we are about to, and I'll say this boldly, we're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one. And the new one, the new accounting, is what we call blockchain. It means digital. It means having a almost perfect record of every single transaction that happens in the economy, which will give us far greater clarity over what's going on. It also raises
Clarity equals control, by the way. All right, and who does that affect, man? That affects our people, you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. You're the true Israelites according to the Bible, as well as you Israelite foreigners that may live amongst the heathen and even look and practice the customs of the heathen. All right, so that's gonna affect you the most because you're the ones that are that live with the hustle, okay? That have to hustle to make ends meet just to live to the basic standard of getting out the hood, man. You have to hustle DVDs and sell drugs and all these things as a way of life, not just for the destructive qualities of it, but for the money of it to make ends meet, to pay your rent, to feed your family. Okay, to do some the de-stressing vacations, if you will, you know, that people on earth that work a 9 to 5, 5 to 5 days a week or whatever, in the world as it is, need to de-stress, man, to keep pushing. All right, that's why this world has to be eradicated into the new one. Another story for another day. I'll continue to let her speak.
huge dangers in terms of the balance of power between states and blockchain. It means digital. It means having a almost perfect record of every single transaction that happens in the economy, which will give us far greater clarity over what's going on. It also raises huge dangers in terms of the balance of power between states and citizens. In my opinion, we're going to need a digital constitution of human rights if we're going to have digital money. But also, this new money will be sovereign in nature. Most people think that digital money is crypto and private, but what I see are superpowers introducing digital currency. The Chinese were the first. The US is on the brink, I think, of moving in the same direction. The Europeans have committed to that as well. And the question is, will that new system of digital money and digital accounting accommodate the competing needs of the citizens of all these locations so that every human being has a chance to have a better life? Because that's the only measure of whether a world order really serves.
And let's not forget Klaus Schwab said, you will own nothing and you will love it and you will be happy, or something to that effect. Okay? And so that's why that matters, is if you don't get into this system, and they got a fantasy world for you to live in. It's been constructed and called the metaverse right now. You can go in there and be whomever, whatever, gender, whatever, height, whichever. You can control your own destiny. You don't get. It's a world that moves away from the Most High, where you can be whatever you want to be. You can be the gender you want to be. You can be the height you want to be. You can have the profession you want to be. Yeah, I'm only 5'2" in real life, but I have a mind for basketball, and I want to be 6'2" or 7'2" and dominate the NBA. Okay, so put me in the metaverse, and I'll go in there and dominate the NBA in a video game digitalized type world, and now fulfill my fantasy that way. Okay, this is the incentives they're selling you with this thing. Okay, all of this is linked in, literally. Okay, so let's go on to a couple more. Matter of fact, let me get another precept, then I'll show a couple more articles. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe to them who that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. This is how they're trying to move us into the new world. Okay, they prescribed a new world under complete control of technology. Okay, that'll be ruled by those that control the data, as was said in the previous videos. Okay, that's not what we need as a people. What we need is to live a righteous life and have all the balances and to fear Yahweh. That's what the problem with their system is. They don't have Yahweh as the top of it. This is a wicked people that are setting together a system or an image, if you will, ran by wicked intents. Okay, the Most High had it set up perfectly. Okay, and this is what we're getting now. All right, we're getting this side of it now. All right, to where we see the wickedness happening, but the Most High will have to intervene. So continuing on, it says to turn aside the needy from judgment, because you Jakes, you Negro, Latino, Native American, you Israelites, you'll get the worst end of the stick. You may not have good internet where you live. Lots of situations that are not going to be good for you in this situation, even if they do the universal basic income. Okay, you're still under the rule of a wicked, perverse man. All right, because whoever created the system itself designed it according to how their mind was. All right, reading on, it says, to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. Okay, and they're getting you in every way, man. They're figuring out with this perfect clarity of every transaction. And if they don't approve a transaction, they can't go through. Okay? Meaning you can't be like, here, neighbor, I got you. Hey, bro, I know you short. I got you. You can't do that without justifying it in their system, in their image. Okay? Who really wants to live that way? And to prove that, I have this article. 1 second. All right, I'm not going to read these articles. I'm going to just kind of go over them. Originalnewsbreak.com. Original.newsbreak.com. It says, a man locked out of his $10,000 deposit as bank suddenly closes thousands of accounts without warning. This will be commonplace. Okay, why? Because they haven't verified his money. Why? Whatever reason. They don't need a reason. He's had some radical thoughts lately. Okay, there's all kinds of reasons what they can shut you down according to what they deem right or wrong in the image. Okay, another one is this one, mortgagesolutions.co.uk. Okay, home buying digital ID scheme approved for FCA testing. My identity, a scheme which aims to digitalize the home buying and selling process, has been approved for the Financial Conduct Authority regulatory sandbox. Okay, so you can see that now you're going to do all of this online now. Now all this is going to become digital. Work performance issues can be staved off at recruitment. There's something else. Related post. Unavoidable. Let me see. Okay. Let's see here. I read this quote. It says, we are making good progress within the sector, and we now want to go further by testing the Financial Conduct Authority's regulatory sandbox. This will help brokers and lenders to adopt the My Identity standards in a more secure and controlled environment. We're starting to hear the same words being used, the same sentiments being used. Okay? Work on My Identity started in 2019, and its current beta phase is focused on improving standards around identity. Okay, so there's no loopholes to get through with this thing. Everybody, and if you've been in prison or whatever, and they don't wipe your slate clean, these are going to be stains on your social identity, and social credit score. Okay, I'm bringing all these things in because these are the things that they're all putting together to control this image, man. Okay, this way of life, this system. Another one, is this one, yes. And I'll close with this one. It's in Buenos Aires to create digital identity platform. The tool is expected to be operational no later than the first quarter of 2023, according to a city official. Buenos Aires has begun work on a blockchain-based digital identity platform with the aim of giving the city's residents control over their personal data. So now you get control over it, but who's going to govern it within that platform? Okay? Now let's jump down to that. The platform will be decentralized, public, and non-permissioned, said Fernandez, adding that it will be available for use by any organization, government, administration, or company wishing to mint verifiable identities without needing the approval of the city. You see that? They go right to the digital to approve it. They don't even go through the state level or whatever it is. It says the motivation is to give rise to a new paradigm in which secure transactions are agile, okay, where verification of necessary documentation is fast, reliable, and private, okay, that you don't have to bring all your documents to a certain building, okay, but this is all connected to the internet, and as the lady stated, it's hackable, man. You got to control it because it can be hackable, okay, but that's what they're working on, right? So they decide where their information is stored and who can access it. The white paper stated. It says in the next 90 days, the city will define the architecture of the platform and decide what blockchain it will be built on. After that, Fernandez said it will take about 6 months to develop the platform. See if there's any more on here. But that's pretty much the point. Okay, you guys can go read this for yourself, but it's showing you right now this image is truly being set up. The money, the platform to control everything. We know the 5G has been rolled out since the first lockdown, the original lockdown. Okay, over, 2 years now? Okay, so this is what we're geared up for, man. This is when you got to call on Yahweh Shemi Yahushai. Matter of fact, I'll pull one more precept from Isaiah 36. Let me go there. Verse 6. It says, Lo, thou trustest in the staff on this broken reed on Egypt. Okay, you trusted in a broken society. Why? Because it's built upon wickedness, man. It's not built upon the Heavenly Father in righteousness and wisdom. It says, whereon, if a man lean, it will go in his hand and pierce it, meaning it will hurt you. Okay, it'll affect you in a major way. But literally, that piercing is putting into that sensor in your body. Okay, it says, so is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. And this way of life will become the new Pharaoh. We have presidents and certain people that rule the world now. They're the modern day pharaohs, Edomites particularly. But Edomites are gonna control a new pharaoh through this technology. And if you lean upon that system, that image and that beast, which the beast is the EU, NATO nations, okay? If you lean upon their way of life, she even said where the Western Europe is also tying into this new thing, new money system, okay, through blockchain. If you do that, man, this is gonna destroy you. Because in World War III, all of this gets wiped out and turned over, okay, into righteousness. Last precept, back in Revelation 14:8, I want to start up at. I started verse 9. It said, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture, pure pure punishment, pure indignation, pure wrath. It says in the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. When these World War III missiles hit off and destroy this place over here and certain other places in the world, you will be in that and destroyed if you trust in this place, man. Trust in this image, if you worship this image and not Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Okay, it says, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahushua Mashiach. So, Lord willing, this is has been edifying. Giving all praise and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. Greetings, salutations, and blessings unto you out there who have changed your life towards righteousness, that you may earn salvation from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Shalom.